When do we get too old to learn, have fun, and seek new achievements? I sincerely hope the answer to that question is never. And I had a student ask a question, who's the oldest chess master? And upon a Google search and a little bit of investigation, I found a few websites that I'd like to introduce to the channel, and you can find the links below because I definitely want to give them credit for their work. And let's jump directly to the Chess Power website. And they're big on chess records and keeping them up to date. And specifically, let's go to the oldest category. There were a few things that jumped out at me. The oldest chess author, David Lawson, authored Paul Morphy, The Pride and Sorrow of Chess, at age 89. But the oldest chess player at 104, Jane Carew. But the oldest master, Oscar Shapiro, became a chess master at the age of 74. And as I did a little bit more investigating, I found at the U.S. Chess Center that Oscar Shapiro was a champion and gentleman of DC chess. He still has the record of being the oldest person in the U.S. to earn the title of chess master. He not only became a chess master at 74, but he played some great chess. We're going to take a look at one of his games. And he also enjoyed chess history as he donated items to the U.S. Chess Hall of Fame, including a score sheet from legendary American world champion Bobby Fischer from a November 8, 1966 game with Wolfgang Ullmann. Without further ado, let's see a game from the true gentleman, an elder statesman chess master, Oscar Shapiro. And he's going to have white in this game from the 49th U.S. Open in 1948. And I gotta say, when analyzing this game, I was quite pleased at the level of play. And no, it's not an exchange variation. That Panov style in there, knight f6, knight c3. And we're following modern opening trends. This was recommended in the lifetime repertoire Caro Kann on Chessable. Then an interesting sideline with bishop g5. Here probably d takes c4 is going to be one of the more critical variations, but black decided on the solid e6. And after bishop e7, I really like the forcing nature of this move, c5, and it kind of builds with the character of the position. White, if left to his own devices here, is going to just simply develop, castle, and then start using the pawn majority on the queen side because we've already cemented a 3 versus 2 over there. So black needs to feel the urgency in the position. If you're someone who plays this with black, you need to know you've got to play knight e4 here. You're cramped, you got the bad bishop on c8, got to do something fast. And after a bit of liquidation, find ourselves in a balanced-ish position where black can look to strike in the center at some point, and white doesn't have that just easy play that we're going to see in this model game. After c5, black played h6. Like, okay, we'll just drop back. And a6. You're stopping bishop b5, but is that really where I want to go? Now, Oscar here played a3, and black missed a bit of an opportunity. Best here is bishop d3. And this idea, which will pop up in a sideline of the main game, g5, should definitely be considered by black here. As g5, we kick the bishop, then g4, we kick the knight. But there is a beautiful idea here after knight takes d4. And if you're a pause your video type of person, now's the time. Hopefully you found knight g6. A strong tactical continuation as pawn takes, bishop takes check. The knight on d4 is going to fall. So why should we use time on a3 when we have bishop d3? Well, you have to know that tactical sequence or be able to calculate it out. And probably if you're doing that, your abilities have surpassed mine. So after a3, this was that opportunity where g5 is far stronger here as we don't have that bishop influence on the b1 h7 diagonal. So after bishop e3, knight g4, and this is a roughly equal but double-edged position, and I gotta say I would prefer black with a bishop pair. But in the main game, castles was played, another natural move, and after this point, it's very, very difficult to come up with a plan for black. Black missed the opportunities at direct counterplay, and now the positional squeeze is on. After knight a7, b4. You got space on the queen side. We're going to use it. Queen e2, eyeing that b5 square to make sure mass liquidation can't take place. a4, slow and steady. Beautiful harmony. Everything's so clean. And after king h8, this must have been the red flag being waved in front of the bull. Personally, I would just keep with the pressure. I would play b5, but I fully respect queen d2, keeping black honest on both wings. There's now knight g8 to cover the h6 pawn. No sacrifices there. We continue with b5. Black's not allowing the rooks to have full dominion over the a and b file, so a5. And we're just going to come back over here. Make sure no break's going to happen, and slow play the position, as there is no hurry at all. And after queen d8, I think because we've got a knight on g8, the plan that sticks out to me is dropping the bishop back to c2, so we have the potential that nasty queen d3. And if b6, one of the engine's first choices, you have c6, where the engine's saying, okay, just give material to get some breathing room, your position is that bad. But I can't say I dislike the move that was played in the game, the forcing b6, because we're going to get squares, even though we're giving squares. And though I enjoy a good positional squeeze, I do like just putting the opponent away as well. So after knight c6, knight b5, and after knight b4, put a little question to the queen there. And on queen e8, this was the only blemish on an otherwise beautiful game. Here, the critical move, knight e5 needs to be played, where all of the pieces are coming to bear in the position, and if captures, we have rook e to c1, where the breakthrough on c6 is inevitable. We'll probably capture on d7 first, follow up with c6, and that b pawn is going to be really hard to stop in the long term. But here, white opted for bishop d6. And again, if you're a pause your video type of guy or girl, how about this position for black? What do you do? What's best defense? As black missed a huge opportunity to equalize here. Knight takes d3, remove that dangerous bishop. And we've got mass liquidation here. Takes. That ruins the integrity of the pawn structure. Disconnects the pawns, making them targets. Black's equalized and has fighting chances. Ooh. Bishop takes d6 though. This is easily a +5 or more position, as that knight is a bone in the throat piece on d6, hitting the queen, hitting b7, and there's nothing really that can get rid of that powerhouse knight. And then there's another one. And here, there are a couple different ways to go. Probably the most direct route would be to play bishop b5 to try to just get rid of that defender so we're crashing through on f7 or g6. But nothing wrong with bishop b1. And after knight e7, there are ideas in here. Everything is going to migrate for the attack. And an idea that definitely comes to mind, since this rook is kind of out of play, rook a3 and swing him over. I'm not quite sure which square yet. Probably h3. But rook a3 is definitely screaming to be played in my mind. Queen f4, same themes with the rook lift. And black has all these pieces, but paralysis. Nothing can be done. Takes with the mate threat on g7. So let's regroup. Bother the h6 pawn. Pressure, pressure. So how can we continue to press the attack here? White clearly has a big edge. The pieces are swarming. How can you turn the screw? Well, we need to break through, and pawns typically break pawn structure. g4. After rook a6, hard to recommend a move for black. g5. And it seems like black has been able to close down the structure. He should be okay. Is he, though? No, that pin on the g6 pawn is pretty devastating. Rook takes h5. And after check, you gotta love the final move of this game. Do you see it? Knight f5 with 3 different pieces attacked. Rook on h5, knight on f5, queen on e5. You can take the knight. White's going to get the queen. And a beautiful game by Oscar Shapiro. And, I'm inspired when a player is able to achieve the master title at 74. Makes me feel at half that I still may have something left in the tank. Hopefully, it's an inspirational story for you as well. Thought I'd share it. Hopefully, enjoyed it. Thanks.